Everyone in One Piece is chasing freedom. Freedom of the seas, freedom from the world government, and freedom to live however they want. But what if the real problem isn't that freedom is being taken away? What if it's that the world itself is being seen incorrectly? Because hidden across multiple arcs, designs, and even background imagery, Oda keeps repeating the same idea. Not loudly, but consistently. And watching a divided world. Okay, now you might be wondering, where am I going with this? So, let's start with this. Look at how One Piece visually splits things in half. Light versus dark, left versus right, smiling versus serious, and even left eye versus right eye. That first image, that's not stylistic. That's symbolic storytelling. And if you take a look, this wonky design has a divide going straight down the center. And this divide may point to two sides who may be living in completely different realities. And right in the middle, that break, that fracture, like something that used to be one piece. Not destroyed, not erased, and not split. The important part is this: both sides still exist at the same time. Now, looking at the second image, this is where things stop being subtle. Cause see, now you have a massive figure towering over everything. And at first glance, it looks rather chaotic. Some amalgamation mixed together. Colorful, abstract, almost random. But it's not. Because when you break it down, you see hidden details that you would never notice if you didn't look deeper. On one end, the face is split into two distinct sides. The colors don't blend, they contrast, as if two figures are fighting for dominion. And below that face, there's a shape of a heart. And we all know love is a very important factor in the world of One Piece. Through the showings of characters such as Sanji, Garp, and even Scopper Gaban, we've seen that the power of love can overcome a lot of obstacles. And then we go below, because at the center of a body, there's a giant eye. But not just any eye. That eye is placed on a sphere, one that looks like the earth. Now let that sink in for a second. This isn't just symbolism anymore. This is a direct visual. An eye positioned over the world. Not looking at it from afar. Not observing from the sky. But one that's embedded into it. Ingrained on the earth itself. Watching from within. Now taking a step back, if we take a closer look at the face, we see two expressions, two identities on one body. That's not just duality. That's unity disguised as division. Because if both sides belong to the same figure, then they aren't just enemies, they're two halves. Which changes how you look at everything. Cause see, what if freedom and control, light and darkness, dreams and order aren't opposing forces, but pieces of something that was broken apart? Two sides of the same coin, but the coin itself is missing. Then we get to the third image, the three worlds of the mural, something that has given us so much information, but information that is a bit scrambled, scattered, because on paper it sounds like a timeline. First world, second world, and even third world. But when you actually read it, it doesn't feel clean. It feels a bit inconsistent. A world of fire and chaos, a world of silence and void. These don't flow naturally. They feel like pieces of a story that was either lost or rearranged. And that raises a very dangerous possibility, because what if history in One Piece wasn't just erased? What if it was edited? Edited by someone's view of how reality should be, not what people think it is. Now see, the more you look at this panel, this distorted imagery of a painting, the more you notice details that are very subtle. Now let's take a step back and observe more about the heart shape that we see in this image. It's easy to ignore, but if you really think about it, it might be one of the most important details. Because if the eye represents perception, then the heart represents something else. Will, desire, truth, and even emotion. And its placement matters. It's not protected, it's above everything else. Almost like the true core of the world isn't what people see, but something beyond it. Something out of reach. So now, let's connect everything. A world split into two realities, an eye embedded into the earth, a heart placed right above it. A story that doesn't fully add up, one that hides the history from the world. This doesn't point to a simple conflict. It points to something deeper, something quieter. The real war might not be pirates versus marines. It may well just be reality versus the perception of what reality could be. Because if you can control how people see the world, you don't need to control them directly. They will do it for you. And this is where it all comes together. Because if the world was split, if its story was rewritten, if something is actively shaping how it's perceived, then the most dangerous person in One Piece might not be the strongest or the fastest. It's not even the most influential, unfortunately for Buggy. It's the one who can finally see clearly. Because once you see the truth of the world, you can never go back to the illusion that it tries to show you.